Hello and welcome to the MerusCase Bootcamp training session. My name is Chris, and I'll be walking you through a brief overview of the great features MerusCase has to offer. This training is intended to provide the basic knowledge you need to get started using MerusCase. MerusCase is a cloud-based platform, which means you can access your data anywhere on any device. You'll be able to use MerusCase on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, on Mac or PC. All you need is an internet connection and a web browser. For your web browser, we recommend using Google Chrome, as that will give you the best performance when using MerusCase. To get started, open your web browser and navigate to MerusCase.com. On this page, click the Login button in the upper right corner. This will open the login page where you'll enter your email address and your password for your MerusCase account. Click Login once you've entered that. Your MerusCase dashboard will open up, which is basically a home screen and a summary of what's currently happening in the firm. We see a notices section over on the upper left side that gives us a summary of cases that may need to be checked out in the firm and our tasks that are overdue. Over on the right hand side, we see a summary of our agenda for the week, so we can see events and tasks that are coming up. Down below, we see a new messages section that gives us a summary of new emails in MerusCase, and finally we have a few graphs that give us some totals on how everyone is performing in the firm. Up near the top we have our main navigation bar, and this will always be present regardless of where you are in the system. Each of these tabs right here can be clicked to provide a contextual menu that gives more options relating to that category. Contacts, for example, gives us options to search contacts in companies, create a new contact, or create a new company. We'll be going into cases in a moment. If you ever need to get back to this dashboard, you can always click on the word MerusCase right here or on the MerusCase logo. On that note, if you ever want to open a separate window of MerusCase, one easy tip is to right-click on the word MerusCase or on the logo and click Open Link in New Tab. This will open a new window of MerusCase so you can operate in two different windows at the same time. Over on the far right side of this dashboard, we have a button to sign out of MerusCase, and a small gear icon, which is our Tools and Settings button, where we can customize a lot of our user preferences and tweak the way MerusCase looks. Next to that Tools and Settings button, we have a total of today's billable time and a small stopwatch, which is our Log Time button. That'll be very useful for firms that are recording and tracking time, and will be commonly used to record ledger entries. Let's take a look at the Cases tab. To get to our cases in MerusCase, just click this Cases tab in this top navigation bar. A menu appears with some case-related options. We can click New Case to get started entering a new case file, or we can click Browse Cases to get to a list of all our cases. Over on the right-hand side, we see a list of some recently accessed cases, which are just there for quick access, so you can click on one of these and it'll take you right into that file. Let's click on Browse Cases to get to a list of all our files. The Browse Cases screen is the large list of all the cases in MerusCase, and this format is pretty consistent in a few different places in the system. So first we see a search bar up at the top, and down below we have a table with columns for the case number, the case name, the type of the case, the status, and the staff responsible. Right above the search bar, we actually have some quick links for things like seeing all open cases, seeing all closed cases, and just seeing cases assigned to you. We can use the search bar to filter for anything in this table. So if I start typing in here right now, we'll see results pop up as MerusCase looks in this name column. And we can tell that by looking in the search bar right now, as it says search/filter by name. And I can change that to any other column in this table by clicking the magnifying glass over on the far right side and changing this drop down from name to status or something along those lines. That would be handy if I wanted to search for all cases that may be marked as intake. Again, I can type in the name of a case, and we'll see the results immediately pop up. So I'm looking for every case where Jimmy is in the name. One handy tip, when we look at each of these case files, we'll notice there's a small folder icon over on the left-hand side, and if I hover my mouse over that, I'll see a brief preview with some basic information about the case. That makes it really easy to differentiate between cases where you might have similar client names, or just getting a basic set of information before you actually open up this file. To go into this case file, I can click anywhere on this line. Once I do that, I'm taken to the inside of this case file. Currently, we're on the Case Details page, which has some basic information about the case itself. Just to point out some basic structure, over on the left-hand side, we have this column right here that starts with the name of the case up at the top, and this is your main navigation tool in the case file. So if you want to get anywhere else inside this file, you can always use these tabs over here to go to different parts of this case. This case details page just gives us a basic summary of what's going on. First, we have this case agenda area, which gives us a list of all the upcoming events and tasks in this case, so I can see what's on the horizon for this particular matter. Down below that, we have information about the primary party on this case. Now, the case we're looking at right now is just a personal injury general case, but the formatting will be the same regardless of the type of case. So this is the primary party over here. And over on the right-hand side, we have more general info about the case itself. So that includes information like the type of case, the status of the case, the file number, the office this is set to, the venue, any comments. Down here we have information on the staff assigned to this particular case file, and billing information down at the bottom. This includes the primary party that all ledger entries will be billed to on this case. In general, if you want to make any changes to any of the content on one of these pages, there's an edit button in the upper right corner. So if I needed to adjust information about Jimmy Cricket, I can click on edit right here, and this will open all this information up so I can make adjustments to it. When I'm all set with that, I can go ahead and click save again. The next tab we'll check out is our Parties tab, which can be accessed by clicking Parties up at the top. This Party screen is a list of everyone who's related to this case file. So anyone who's going to be involved here, that includes, for this particular file, the plaintiff, the defendant, carriers, witnesses. The appropriate parties will differ between different case types. If I click on one of these boxes, which references a specific person, a panel will open up over on the right-hand side with more information about that individual, so I can see their individual contact information. This is what we call a contact card, and it houses all the information about this particular person or this business. Up near the top, I have a small Cases tab, and if I click on that, that's an easy way for seeing the different cases a particular individual is related to. So it's good for conflict checks and seeing where a certain person falls in line in regards to other files. One column to pay attention to in this table is this party type field, and that is a certain individual's role on a case file. So you could have someone who's a defendant in one case and a witness in another, or perhaps has more roles than that. We'll notice under each person's name there is a role right here. So we see Jimmy Cricket is the plaintiff, Bob Billard is the defendant, State Farm Insurance is a carrier, and so on. Those are all people type for those individuals or businesses. To add a new party to a case, we can click the Add More button in the upper right corner. This will take us to a simple search screen where we can enter the name of the contact or the company that we're looking to attach to this case file. For example, if I type in Thomas Johnson, we'll notice results appear that show all the contacts or companies with the name Thomas Johnson. If I hover over this row, some options appear over on the right-hand side for attaching this contact to this case. I can click Add to attach Thomas Johnson to this case as a new party. We'll see a rectangle appears here in the list of parties, and I can click on this to see all of Thomas's information over on the right-hand side. If I need to add a party to the case that doesn't already exist as a contact in MerusCase, I can click Add More to return to the search screen, type in the person's name, and we'll see no results appear. In that case, the contact has not already been set up as a contact in MerusCase, and I can click Add New Rolodex Entry, and MerusCase will walk me through the process of setting this up as a new contact. On this panel on the right-hand side of the screen, I would just do the actual data entry for this contact, paying particular attention to this people type, which again is this individual's role on this case. Something like attorney, defendant, employer, carrier, claims adjuster, and so on. Once I've entered that basic information, I can click Save, and this will create a new contact and attach James Monroe to this case file. Next, we'll check out our Activities screen. We can get to our activities by clicking this tab labeled Activity at the top. The Activities screen is a collection of everything that happens on a case file. So any documents uploaded, any phone calls logged, any emails received, any notes recorded on a case will all be summed up on this screen right here. This format is similar to the Browse Cases screen we've seen earlier in that we have a large search bar up at the top of the screen and a table down below. This table has columns for tags, description, user, and date. Now, it should be noted that everything in this table is all arranged chronologically with the most recent items up at the top. So at a glance, you can tell what happened today, and then what happened yesterday, and so on. This tags column is of particular importance because these tags act as broad categories or labels for the different items in this list. If we see some examples, we can see options like telephone call, message, document, note, task updated, and so on. And what this allows us to do is to easily search and filter for items in this list. For example, if I want to see all the phone calls in this list, I can click in the search bar, which is looking in this tags column right now, as evidenced by this saying search/filter by tags. And I can type in telephone. And immediately we see a list of all the telephone calls logged in this case file. And the same process works for anything else. For documents, I could type in document. For messages, I could type in messages. And to do that even faster, we'll notice right above the search bar there are some quick links labeled phone calls, messages, documents, and that will search for the category that's listed. For example, phone calls shows me all the phone calls, messages shows me all the messages, which is just an email in MerusCase, and so on. To log a new activity, I can click this New Activity button, and a panel appears over on the right-hand side that allows me to just enter some basic text about the activity. The first thing I'll do is choose the activity tag, which again is a label for whatever I'm entering, and down here I can enter the actual text for this activity. Once I've done that, I can choose a time. The time is automatically set for the current time, but if this was something that happened earlier, such as a phone call that you weren't able to log until the current moment, you can change this date and time in this field right here. To view an existing activity, you can just click on it on this list, and it'll open over on the right-hand side with more information. Documents can also be viewed that same way. If I click on one of these activities with the tag document, it'll appear over on the right-hand side and look a bit different than our general text entry activities. We'll see I see a preview of the document over on the right-hand side, as well as some options near the top of the screen to rename the document, download it to my computer, or forward it to another recipient. Messages are another common type of activities, and if we click on one of these entries labeled message in the tags column, we'll see a summary of the actual email on the right-hand side. Now, emails in MerusCase can be linked to different cases, so you have record of that communication, and that's what we're seeing right now. We'll see who the email's from, who was sent to, and the text of the actual message. You can even reply to all, and forward this message right from the screen. At the top of the screen, we'll notice the tab labeled Incident. This tab is specific to personal injury cases and holds some information relevant to this particular type of law. Other case types will have similar tabs, such as immigration cases, family law cases, and workers' compensation cases. Next up, let's walk through the process of creating a new case file. To create a new case, I can click the Cases tab, and then New Case. This will take me to a screen where I can enter the basic info about my new file or my new intake. The first thing I'll want to do is choose the correct case type in this field. Next up, I can enter the information about the primary party, as well as any other details I have about this party at this point, including their address info, social security number, and other info like that. At the very bottom of the screen, I can also record the current case status, which is a good place to mark intakes at this point, as well as assign attorney responsible and other important information. On the right side, I have a section for accounting information in case I am charging a fee or taking any payment at this point. When I'm all set, I'll go ahead and click Save to create this case file. This will take me to the case details page of my new case file, so I can enter all the other information that's important to note on this page. Now let's return to the case file we were looking at a moment ago. To get back to one of our previously accessed cases, we can click the Cases tab and select the case from this list over on the right-hand side. If we click Jimmy Cricket, this will take us into that case file. To return to our Case Activities section, let's click the Activity tab in the upper left corner. Now that we've gone through the basics of how different activities look and how to view our documents, let's talk about adding a new document to MerusCase. One easy way of uploading a new document to MerusCase is to use this box in the lower left corner labeled Drag and Drop Files Here to Upload to Case with this orange icon. And it really is that simple. If you have a folder or a network drive on your computer containing some documents, you can easily upload documents from that folder to MerusCase just by dragging and dropping the documents right onto that icon. So if I select one or more files, I can just select them in my folder, drag and drop them onto this icon right here, and in a moment, we'll see those pop up in this activities list. And as we see over on the right-hand side, again, we see a preview of this document. Now that we've uploaded these documents to MerusCase, it would be beneficial to attach another activity tag to these. That allows us to easily categorize or label these different documents. To add more activity tags, we can check the boxes next to these documents and click Add Activity Tags. This will open a large selection of the activity tags available in the firm, and we can choose an appropriate label. In this case, let's choose Medical Reports. Once I choose that tag, I can click Add Tags, and we'll see now all three documents are tagged as Document, Medical Reports, which means if I search in this search bar for medical, those documents will appear in the results. Now, any administrator can add more activity tags to that list, so that would be one of the things to do when setting up your firm. Next, let's take a look at some of our document creation features. To get started, we can click Forms and Templates over on the left-hand side. Forms refers to different court forms in MerusCase, so those are documents defined by the federal, local, or state government. And templates refers to firm-specific documents, things like letters or pleadings. Click on Word Templates to get started, and you'll see a list of all the templates in the firm. MerusCase comes with over 100 built-in templates, some specific to certain realms of law. To search for a template, just go ahead and type in the name. And when you found the template you're looking for, in this case we'll use this PI loss of use demand template, you can just click anywhere on the row. Over on the right hand side you'll see a bit more information about the actual templates. You can see the basic structure, and to fill it out we click Merge Template in the upper right corner. This will allow us to choose the information that will be pulled into this template, such as the defense insurance, claims adjuster, the applicant, which is the primary party, and other basic information there. Once we click Merge, MerusCase will grab information directly from the case file and pull it into the document we're creating. If you're using Chrome, you can click on this bottom bar to actually open up the document. Now if we return to MerusCase, and we go back to our Case Activities section by clicking Case Overview, and then Activity, we'll see a new row appears at the top of the table, and that is the document we just uploaded. If we click on this, we'll again see our document over on the right-hand side with all the changes we made to the content right there. If we need to make further revisions, we can download this document using the download button, make any changes to it, and use that quick save button one more time to push the changes right back into MerusCase. That allows for very easy revisions and updates to documents. Next, let's take a look at our court forms in MerusCase. We can get there by clicking Forms and Templates over on the left-hand side, and then clicking All. This will take you to a list of all court forms in MerusCase, and it's all filtered by the jurisdiction set in your user preferences. So if you're in California, you're only going to see federal forms and forms applicable to California. To get to a more specific category of law, we can click on the Court Forms tab at the top and choose a different category in here. Then you can go ahead and choose the form from the list or search for it using the filter bar at the top. And once you've chosen the form you'd like to fill out, click Prepare/Fill Form up in the upper right hand corner. This is similar to our template merge process. Once you've done that, you'll be taken to a screen where you can enter in the text in the actual fields in the form. But first I'd recommend using this field where you can choose the autofill options. This will allow you to choose the information that's going to get pulled into the actual form, and you can click autofill to get started with that. This will go ahead and fill in some basic info into the actual form and do some of the data entry for you. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click Save to save the form, and click View/Print to view a copy of the filled out form. Once you've done that, this form created will show up in your activities screen as a new activity with the tag Form Created. Now that we've covered the basics of the inside of a case file, let's take a look at the calendar. To get to the calendar, we can click the Calendar tab and then My Calendar. This will take us to a view of the calendar where we're only seeing the events that I, in particular, am going to be attending. Every user has their own version of this My Calendar screen. Each of these rectangles refers to an individual event, and you can click on one of these to go ahead and open it over on the right-hand side and see more information about this event. such as the title, who's going to this event, where it's happening, and what type of event it is. The different colors on this panel refer to different event types, things like trials, hearings, depositions, and so on. Those different event types and colors can be customized by any administrator in your firm. You can also view the events as a day, week, or month view by clicking one of these options here. To add a new event, you can click the New Event button in the upper left corner. This will open a panel over on the right-hand side where you can enter the basic info for the event, including the title, where it's happening, the type of the event, who's going to be assigned, and you can add more assignees by clicking this small person icon right here and choosing a second assignee, as well as any details of this event. You can also check the bottom to see the existing case agenda and assignee agenda for anyone who's actually going to this event. That's an easy way to check for conflicts. Once you're done, click Save to save this event on the calendar. We can also view our full firm calendar by clicking Calendar and then Firm Calendar. This view is essentially everyone's individual calendar laid on top of each other, so you can see across the whole firm who is busy on which days and what events are coming up as a whole. Again, we can still view this as a day, week, or month view, and we have one additional option in the upper right corner, which is filtering by assignee. If I click on this, it'll show me a list of everyone in my firm, and I can click on a certain user to see just their individual calendar. Another way of viewing the calendar is by clicking the Calendar tab once more and clicking Browse Firm Events. This will show us a list view of all the calendar events so that I can see everything that's coming up and easily filter through it. As this is the typical table format we're used to seeing in MerusCase, I can search by any of these columns and perhaps see all the upcoming hearings alone, or all the upcoming trials, or events assigned to a certain group of people, or a certain case. Another commonly used scheduling tool is our tasks in MerusCase. You can access your tasks by clicking the Tasks tab at the top of the screen, and then clicking My Tasks. Now, a task in MerusCase is basically something you have to do by a certain date. In this task description column, we can see some examples, such as send out initial agreement. This table is just all the tasks that are currently assigned to me. The next column after the description is who, which indicates who this task is actually assigned to. From indicates who originally assigned the task. The case column indicates what matter this is related to. And finally, the due date indicates when this task is actually due. To add a new task, we can click the Add Task button in the upper left corner. Using this menu on the right-hand side, we can fill out the information for this task, such as who it's assigned to, the due date for the task, a priority for the task, the case file this task is related to, and of course the description, which is just what the task is. Once you're all set with that, you can go ahead and click Save to save this task. Now, once you've completed a task, you want to mark it as such in MerusCase, and you can do that from this menu by just clicking on the task itself and looking at it over on the right-hand side. This will show you more information about this task as well. To complete it, you can click the Mark Complete button in the upper right corner. Then you can enter a summary for the completion if you want, but you can just click Save if you don't. And once you do that, the task is now complete. So next time you come to this page, you won't see that task in this list again. To get to a list of everyone's tasks, you can click the Tasks tab and click Browse Firm Tasks. This will show you a list of everyone's tasks across the whole firm, so you can see what everyone else is up to. You can also use these handy filters at the top of the screen to search for certain date ranges, such as overdue tasks, tasks due this week, or tasks due this month. Next, let's take a look at our Messages section in MerusCase. To get to our Messages, we can click the Messages tab and then click Inbox. The Messages screen in MerusCase is where you'll see your email inbox, and you can send and receive messages right from the screen. It looks like a pretty standard email inbox with the addition of the case column over on the right-hand side that indicates if a message has been linked to a case already. You can compose a new message by clicking the Compose button in the upper left corner and entering the basic information for your email. So first of all, who it's going to, and in the screen you can enter the person's name or their email address, and we'll see some results pop up from different contacts in our Rolodex. You can also enter in the name of the case to see some additional options. And once you enter the name of the case, you have some additional options for attachments over here. So first you can click Upload to just attach a document from your computer to this message, or you can click From Case, which allows you to choose files that are already linked to this case file and send those alongside this email. Once you've chosen the attachments, you can click Done. And you'll see these two attachments pop up right below this section right here. You can go ahead and enter the information for your actual body of your email. And click Send to send that out. So that's how you send out a message and link it to a case. For messages that you receive, you can also link them to cases by checking the boxes next to these messages and clicking Link to Case. This will open up this window where you can enter in the name of the case. And click Link to go ahead and attach this as a case. Once you attach an email to a case, you'll see the name of the case appears in the column over on the right-hand side. Now, once you actually link it to a case, you can click on the name of the case file to actually go into that case right there, and we'll see how that looks in the Activities section of the file. In the Activities section, for each email we link, we see a new entry labeled Message, and if we click on that, we'll see the actual email that was either sent or received, including any attachments. Now, one thing that's important to note is the date that's next to the email activity is when the email was sent or received. So if you receive a bunch of emails on Saturday and you don't actually link them until Monday, the date will be associated with Saturday. So you'll still have the correct order when everything is linked to the actual case file. The final topic I'd like to cover is how to move forward with MerusCase and how to get help if you do need it. To that end, I'd like to point out this question mark icon over on the right-hand side, which when clicked will open up our Help panel. This gives some basic guidance for the page you're currently looking at, in this example, the inbox. And you can also use the search bar at the bottom of the screen to look into our knowledge base and look up some helpful guides and blog posts about the certain topic you're interested in. You can also click on the Open Knowledge Base link to open up our documentation website, which is docs.meruscase.com. This is basically like the MerusCase manual and includes a lot of helpful YouTube videos and other guides for common operations in MerusCase. Finally, I'd like to point out our support email address and phone number. You can reach MerusCase support at support@meruscase.com or by phone with the number 510-550-5000. Thanks for watching this today. I hope this is beneficial, and thank you for choosing MerusCase.